Knowing how to write a if statement or a lookup will get you through an entry Excel level screening. But if you want to crack a high-paying data analysis interview, you have to prove you can summarize messy data instantly under pressure. In this world, I mean, interviewers love to throw curveballs like asking you calculate the matrix that don't even exist in the data, or splitting reports into 20 different steps in under 10 seconds. Now, within this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 advanced pivot table tricks that will make you look like a senior analyst on an interview day. So without wasting time, let's dive into our Excel and we see exactly what we have to do with those 5 tricks, which will make you move with confidence and trick any question or any trick that the interviewer will be giving to you. So let's dive into Excel and we see what we've got. To our Excel file, and within on my screen I have a file or a sheet with my top 5 pivot interview tricks, which we're going to move step by step so that we master each and every one, and you can move or you can attend that Excel interview with confidence by the end of this video. Make sure you watch it till the end so that you can get all of them. So another sheet, I have my sales data, and in my sales data I have my order ID, I have my customers ID, I have order date, month, region, managers, product category, customer segment, quantity unit, discount rate, and on this end I have what we call the revenue. I have the cost, profit, payment method, their age, and the gender. We're going to see step by step making this, and there are about 15 columns with over 10,000 rows. So we have to summarize this using PivotTable so that we can analyze this data perfect and represent it to our managers. So we're going to see our first trick. Now our first trick number 1, it says it move along with the calculated fields. Now I said this the problem. Now the problem, the interviewer asks you to calculate a 15% tax or profit margin, but the raw data table does not have that column, which is 15%, and the interview asks you to calculate. Now what to do? I have my solution here. What is the solution? Now do not modify any source data, just click inside the pivot table, go to the pivot table analyzer, field, item or sets, and you click what you call calculated field, name it profit margin, and type your formula, e.g. revenue times your percentage of 15% tax rate, so that you get your calculated fields. And this interview proves that you know how to build a dynamic matrix without brought in the master dataset. So we're going to see how step by step to build this so that we can get this first trick. So we move along into our data. So we have first thing to do, we have to format this into a pivot table. Okay, I press Ctrl T to create a pivot table. I make sure this checkbox is checked, then I click OK. As you can see here, I can go ahead in pivot table design. I uncheck this filter button and I can change the pivot table design as you wish, as you like. You can change it as well as you want. So now my data is into a pivot table, so I'll go on and I press anywhere into my pivot table. Okay, I go to the insert tab, and under here I'll click the pivot table, and under here I'll just say I want to press this on the new worksheet or existing worksheet. I'll just click this one and it asks me for the location, so I'll just create another worksheet. But before I do that, let me first cancel this. I create what we call another sheet, which is called, I'll name this as a pivot table, right? Click enter so that it's a new sheet. So I'll go on and come back here and I insert what we call a pivot table. So I'll name this as I'll click done existing worksheet. So I just drag it over here. I'll click my location, then I select OK. So within here, I've created my sheet, which is called PivotTable. Now they told us to calculate the 15% tax of profit margin. So what to do, we shall create what we call a new column called profit margin, which will be a revenue or our sales times the 15%. So we just come back here. So here I'll not drag anything here. I'll just go to the pivot table analyzer. Under here there is what we call field item and style. I'll just click on that. Then I press calculated fields like that. So I'll call this field a profit margin. Okay, then I'll come here under my formula, I'll delete the 0 and I say equals to my sales or the revenue. I'll just double click here, which will be, I'll times this by 0.15, the 15%. Then I click OK. As you can see, we've got our profit margin. So this proves the interviewer that you can crack matrix without breaking any table. Okay, so I'll just center this so that it looks perfect. So we just got our sum of the profit margin within our pivot table. That is the trick number 1. Now let's move on the trick number 2. Now the trick number 2 is to calculate the percent of grid total and the running total. Now the problem, the interviewer, the hiring manager asks you which region contributes the most to our business and how do sales accumulate over the years. So what is the solution with this? Now drag sales into the values area twice, right click the second sales column, choose show value as and select percentage grid total. For the accumulation, I'll add a sales as a third time, select show value as and choose a running total in the and set to base field as month. So we're going to see, and this they are testing you. It shows you can jump straight from basic tracking to deep behavioral and financial analysis. So we're going to see step by step. Now they said we want to find the region contribute the most to our business and how do sales accumulate over the year. So we shall go back here. We can click this and copy this if you want, or else you just come over your sales data, you click anywhere, you click insert pivot table and you choose existing worksheet. So within the location, I'll just paste it here. I'll just come down here, then I click OK. So within here, I'll just look for my sales or my revenue. So I'll just click my revenue into my value field 2 times. In this, what do I want to create? Because they asked to know the region contribute the most to our accumulate. So drag sales into a value area twice, okay? And the sales column and the second sales column, choose show value as and select percentage grid total. Okay, so we shall come here, the second grid, we choose option. Okay, we choose the option button here and we want to show this as percentage of grid total. As you can see, I'll go ahead and remove I'll go ahead and remove these decimal places, decimal points, so that I remain with it. Now they asked again to find the accumulate, and for the accumulate, add the cells in the third column and show value as they choose rainy. So we shall drag again our revenue again here, and within here we shall click on it and show value as. We shall go into more option here, and within this we shall calculate by the running total in our month. So I'll select the month here in the base field and I click OK. As you can see, it's not applicable. Why? Because our month there is nothing. But if I drag my month field into the row, you can definitely see what exactly we're looking for. Okay, so I'll go ahead and remove the third column. As you can see, we've got we've cracked the second trick, the percent degree total and the running total by month. Okay, so that's how you do it without breaking any formula. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and center this, put them in center. So I'll just go ahead and sum of revenue, this one is called percentage. I'll name this percentage. This is our percentage grid total. I'll just click OK. And this is sum of revenue, and these are our months. Just name this as months. As you can see, now we've cracked the trick number 2. Now the trick number 3 is grouping data, dates, and numeric breaks. Now you received a thousand of individual transactions, that dates or random customer ages, and are told to find patterns. We want to find pattern based on the dates and the age brackets. Okay, we want to find the revenue, the patterns. Now, and what we're going to do, right click anywhere, any date or a number in your pivot table rows, and select group data, click month and years to instantly roll up your data for numbers like age. Set the interval to 10 to create a clean bracket like 20, 29, 30, and 39. And within doing this, we're demonstrating data modeling skills and the ability to instantly transform raw character into executive level summaries. So let's do this. Let's group our dates and numeric breaks. So we shall group the dates with the age brackets, and we see the revenue coming from each age bracket. So we shall go ahead under here. We can choose to copy this. As I told you, you just highlight it, you press Ctrl C, then you paste it here, Ctrl V again. Then you have to change the calculated field, since this month will remain there. So in our value field, we shall remove this and this one. Then we put our age brackets over here, and our we shall, there's a numeric table select to our date for like so we shall definitely put our age bracket there. Then we will look for our revenue like this, we put it also there. So we shall crack this to show, we shall put this under our columns like this, so that we get every cells that, as you can see, we've got cells into the month, and this field is our age brackets. You can call this as age brackets. Okay, as you can see, so we've got each month total with based on the age bracket. So I'll just go on and I can select this. As you can see, we can just hide this and we show only the years. Okay, so that's how we cracked so the trick number 3. So let's move along to the trick number 4. It shows show report filters. Now the interviewer sets a trap. Great summary. Now you can split this exact report into separate tabs for all our 15 regional managers. Okay, now within here, when I look in my data here, I have my column field for managers, but I have each manager representing one region. So we have to summarize this and we send the report within each and every manager. Now, what is the solution? Do not copy paste manually. Drag the manager field into the filter box at the top. Go to the PivotTable analyzer, click the tiny arrow next to the option and select show report filter pages, exact pages. Excel instantly generates 15 perfectly format tabs in 1 second, as we're going to see step by step. And in this, doing this, they are checking a massive wow factor that proves you understand corporate efficiency and automated workflow. So we shall just go here and we shall told you can copy and paste this, or else we can just go to our sales data, click anywhere, insert table, existing, we choose our location as in here, we select OK. So we shall drag our managers like this into our filter. As you can see, we have all our managers. So we click here, we come to pivot table analyzer. At the far end, as you can see, there is what we call pivot table. You click that. There is what we call option. Then you click this arrow pointing down and we click show filter pages and I'll click managers. Then I say okay. As you can see, it has separated all the 4 managers. Okay, but within these 4 managers, there is nothing, no data there. So what to do next? I'll just come to my pivot table, as we're going to see like this. I just delete this, and delete all the new tabs, all the new sheets that have been created with different managers. Then I come back to my pivot table analyzer, I click that, and under here I have to put some data. Maybe let me drag the months or the dates in 2 rows so that I get something meaningful, and product categories in 2 rows. Then I get my revenue or my sales into value field so that I can get how much each regional manager collected. So after doing so, you just come here, you refresh your data like that. You click anywhere, you come to pivot table analyzer, you come again here under option, you click that button to show filter page, then you click OK. Boom. As you can see now, we can see each regional manager, how much he made within the year. Okay, so this is how you do it. Very easy and simple without copying and pasting all your data. Okay, and within doing this, they are tricking you to prove that you understand the corporate efficiency and automated workflow within the table. That is trick number 4. Let's move to the last trick. Now the last trick is like the double click or data extraction drill down. So you are presenting your pivot table summary. As you can see, we have our pivot table summary here. So assuming we're presenting it to our general manager, and they cannot understand all these numbers. And suddenly, what happens? And the interviewer points to the specific anonymous number and asks, where exactly did this specific figure come from? So what to do? Don't panic, just double click that exact summary cells. Excel instantly opens a brand new worksheet containing only the specific underlying row of data that add up that number. This what it shows, it displays rapid data auditing skills and absolute confidence under cross-examiner. So let's try. Now we're representing our day's data. As you can see here, our data, we have some digits according to 8 brackets. Now, what if an interviewer just points out, he says, what is that number? Where did it come from? So what to do? You don't have time to explain. Just click at any number he pointed at, just double click it. It will take you straight away to all the table. As you can see, it formatted another sheet called details. So here you can formally see where exactly it's coming from, and it's framed how many 61 rows with over all data. Then you can examine from there. Okay, just a double click trick. So that's the top five tricks we have, which will make you a super data analysis within your Excel interview. So that's how you use the pivot table to summarize, to analyze, and to represent your thousands of data within to your bosses. Hope you learned something new. Make sure you subscribe, follow for more, like, share, and let's meet in the comment section. Thank you. See you next time.